I've been running the same system for my health for more than 30 years, and I want to start by admitting something. Right now, today, my fitness is slipping. My watch and my fitness app have been telling me this for weeks now. The numbers are drifting in the wrong direction. Now, you might think that disqualifies me from giving any advice, but keep listening because that's the entire point of this video. For me, the secret to a system that lasts decades isn't that you never veer off the path. It's how you pay attention and how you react. This is the last video in this series, the one where all the science we've covered in the previous videos finally comes to something you can actually do. And it starts by throwing out the thing you probably thought was necessary: willpower. Let me explain what I mean. Almost every diet, every plan runs on willpower. And willpower is like a battery. It drains, and it's not always convenient to recharge. That's not a character flaw. It's how humans are built. It's why the plan works for 6 weeks and then quietly disappears. My experience, what has become my system, doesn't run on willpower. It runs on something that doesn't drain, a feedback loop. I have a handful of defaults I return to. When life is calm or I have a big event I'm training for, I hold to them tightly. When family or work or a chore takes priority, and it does, constantly, I loosen my grip. But I always keep an eye on the feedback. The moment I notice I've drifted too far, I correct. That's it. That's the whole thing. Not perfection, attention. It's not what happens, it's how we react. Which brings me back to my watch and those numbers that have been sliding. For decades, exercise has been near daily training for me. When there's a big event on the calendar, an all-day ultra, a 25-mile-a-day through hike, my whole life organizes around the training. Those are the strict seasons. Fortunately for me, my partner supports this because it can be all-consuming. But most of the year isn't a race. Family takes priority. Chores take priority. And I let them, while keeping one eye on the dashboard. Almost every day it's still a run, a ride, or a strength session. Recently, that dashboard started flashing yellow. My health app, tied to my watch that's right here on my wrist all the time, one of the two that I carry, showed my fitness measurably declining. Not a feeling, data. So I did what the system tells me to do. I responded. I pushed the frequency and the intensity back up in several 2-workout days to just climb back into the groove. This isn't bragging. It actually feels like the opposite. I'm admitting right here that my fitness has been declining. 30 years into this, and I still drift. It's happened before, it's going to happen again. But what separates a system that lasts from a diet that doesn't is whether you're watching closely enough to catch it and honest enough with yourself to react. So what are the defaults I actually return to? When I strip my system down to the bone, it's 3 decisions. Not 30, just 3. First is breakfast. And the rule is simple. I build it to match the day ahead. If a hard workout is coming, it's oatmeal. Real fuel. If it's a lighter day, it's yogurt. The specific food isn't the point. The point is that the breakfast is a decision I make on purpose, matched to what my body is about to be asked to do, instead of a default I fall into half awake. It's also a bit of a trigger for me. Good breakfast, game on. Second default is movement, and specifically where I place it. You already know I train most days, but there's a smaller, quieter place that matters just as much. And the readers who've been with me since the first of this series already know it: the walk after dinner. Back in that first newsletter of this series, I showed you the research. 3 short walks after meals controlled blood sugar as well as a single long workout. And after dinner, they beat it. Same total minutes, the timing did the work. The third default took me the longest to get right. I build my meals to hold me 2 ways. First, size. My breakfast and my lunch are big enough that the afternoon doesn't send me hunting for a snack. If you're reaching for something at 3 o'clock, the problem usually wasn't 3 o'clock. It was lunch. Second, and this one surprises most people, it's the order in which we eat the food that's on our plate. In one study, when people ate their vegetables and protein first and saved the starch for last, the very same meal produced a much flatter blood sugar curve. Same food, same calories, different order. At dinner, that's exactly what I do. Vegetables first, and it connects straight back to what we uncovered in this last video. Remember, the problem was never only what I ate, it was whether the glucose could clear. Eating in the right order and walking after the meal, those are the small daily moves that keep that door open. Not a diet, a system. Now let me be totally honest and tell you exactly where my system still breaks. Vacations. On vacation, both things fall apart at once. You've probably experienced this. You go away, you're doing things differently, the exercise stops, the meals go off the rails. And here's what I learned the hard way. When those two things slip together, it isn't just my fitness that suffers, it's my mood. The whole trip feels a little worse than I normally would have if I'd exercised and ate right. And it took a while to recognize this pattern. So I'm starting something that sounds almost too simple, and I'm hoping it's not. I'm planning the workout into the itinerary. The same way I'd plan the museum or the special dinner goes on the schedule on purpose. Because I now understand, to stay fit, to stay in a good mood, the system can't disappear entirely during a vacation. In fact, that's the whole system in one example. Intention instead of willpower. Plan instead of pure grit. That's the system that survived 30 years. Not because I'm disciplined. I've just shown you that I drift like everyone else. It survived because it doesn't depend on discipline. It depends on paying attention, keeping a few good defaults, being honest enough to correct course when the dashboard starts flashing. Everything I've walked you through, the 3 anchors, the daily decision, that's the framework I keep in a notebook I call the first half. If this series has been useful and you want the daily version, the one you can actually keep with you, it's linked below, it's linked here. And here's where all of this is headed. I'm building the full system, the whole science, the whole method into a complete nutrition program. It's taking a bit of work, and it's still months out, but I'm building it carefully because I think it's going to be something special and valuable for all of you. When it's ready, as always, newsletter subscribers will get a special introductory access. So here's the truth. You don't need more willpower. You never did. You need a system you can run for the rest of your life and the intention to keep running it. Before I go, subscribe if this is helping, because we're really just getting started here and we're getting on a roll. And if this is the first video in the series you've seen, go back and hit the first one. It'll change how you read every health headline from here on out. And to add to the comments, how do you keep your routine going? I read every comment, and so do many of the other people watching this video. This is where I get to think all of this through, and where I do most of that after dinner walking. Trust the evidence. Trust your body. Engineer your health span. I'm Patrick, and I'll see you out there.